Harley-Davidson makes more power than that GoldWing. Did you know that? Here they go! Know that the Harley-Davidson makes more power than that GoldWing. Did you know that?
Let's talk about this horsepower situation since he
Let's do that.
Stop me! You're gonna have to kill me! Shit!
Three, slap me, bitch. 1, 2, 3. Slap me, bitch.
you did the research on the horsepower deal. I'll follow you out of here. We're gonna talk horsepower, GoldWing to a Harley-Davidson of any of them.
Yeah. We just looked up just for giggles. We've always it's not been a horsepower thing for any of us, you know that, with the GoldWings and all that stuff, but it has been a point of contention to buy, in our opinion, Harley-Davidson and then have to buy a 1 or 2 or 3 stage kit to get enough power to make it feel like we're not riding a mini bike. And so that's been a thing for years that's happened. And the so too, like I'm running, that's first generation, second generation, but GoldWings always 118 horsepower from the factory. Of course, we got something in the road here. We got we can't put a bunch of stuff on that GoldWing motor. They just don't make it to where you can beef it up. But there's some little things that people can do, but nothing major. And it's pretty expensive to push that Harley up. $1,500 here, $2,500 here, $4,500 here to get a stage 3 to get enough horsepower to outrun a GoldWing. That's just the way it's been. I don't think anybody's going to argue with that. But one of the things that's talked about is, why not just make theirs more powerful if it is about power without you having to spend the thousands upon thousands of dollars to get it that way. And so we looked up the new 25 models with all the way even through the CVO and found out that stock, those bikes are 105, Road Glide, Street Glide, all of them are 105. And then even the Street Glide, Road Glide CVO models are 115, so they still don't have as much horsepower from the factory as the GoldWing does, which is 125 on the new model GoldWings. We just thought it was always just been something we've talked about in the communities about power. And again, but for us, most of us, for the GoldWing riding community, it's not really about power. We've got plenty of power.
Yeah.
In a lot of forums I've read where somebody will say, well, sure does, who would need more power? Da-da-da. Well, power is the thing that everybody likes on a motorcycle. They like to be able to twist that throttle and that thing take off. It's an ego thing. It's a male thing. But by the biggest thing for me is I'm not thumping when I'm riding down the road. I'm smooth as silk. It's a watch this big old thing here. Don't hit that.
Man, get off it, road.
Yeah, right here. And I'm just always more. I want to be comfortable.
Well,
I want to be comfortable.
The whole thing was, asked, why did I go back to the GoldWing versus my 24 Harley?
Get that wing. Hold on now. Your daggum nephew already done jumped on me.
Here we go.
He already done jumped on me.
Old trader, we had him on our team.
So let's make it clear. I really did enjoy my Harley-Davidson 2024 Road Glide. Beautiful motorcycle. Oh man, I had a beautiful bike. Took it to Florida twice. Started putting upgrades on them and doing all the things that you do to a motorcycle when you get it. Ain't got nothing bad to say about it. But it just wasn't a real good fit for me, for the type of riding that I do. But man, boy, I didn't know it was such a big deal with horsepower. Let's continue with the video.
You know, we had him on our team, then he had to go jump back to the dark side.
Oh, I couldn't take it no more. If I'd have had a Zipper's performance, I might have stayed on that.
And joking around right there is where I must have pushed a button because here we go.
How you doing, brother? Good. How you doing, man?
Then what you ride the old one for? The 100,000 miler.
Yeah, 106.
Huh?
106.
106.
I can't let that go.
What happened?
I know for the channel because you record everything. You said you had a zipper. Why would you need a zipper?
So I keep up with my wing.
Really?
Oh, dang.
Hold on, dude. Come out. No. I've been waiting for this moment. Dude, come on. When you get out?
Y'all know that the Harley-Davidson makes more power than that GoldWing. Did you know that? Did you know those numbers? Did you know those numbers? Did you know those numbers that GoldWing puts out are not to the wheel?
Oh, I don't know. He might be telling the truth, but I don't know.
The numbers that y'all seeing are not to the wheel. They make 94 at the rear wheel, and Harley-Davidson makes 94.9 at the rear wheel. Google it, YouTube it, you'll see. But all in all, the GoldWing is a good motorcycle. Ain't nothing wrong with a GoldWing. Ain't nothing wrong with it. As long as you ride it and you like what you like, that's all that matters. But don't say
That last part.
But don't say that you had to get more power.
Oh, I don't know. I have no. I don't do the history. I don't do the research like that.
And he thought it was horsepower, and he goes off on this tangent about how much horsepower that a Harley really has versus a GoldWing, and I didn't have the I didn't know the debate with him. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't care. Right. I didn't do it. I didn't do that for that. But he went into explaining it in great detail of how much horsepower it is. But like you just said, not bone stock it ain't.
No. You can beef them up and make them up, you know, you can make them up just about whatever you want them to be. As much money as you want to spend. If you want to drop $8,000 or something more, well, Lord, you've already spent $45,000, $25,000 to $45,000 buying the thing.
Yeah.
And one of those we looked at was, I think, was the Ultra that was still 105 horsepower, and so it's not, you know, when there's more than horsepower, I know that, but the discussion was about horsepower.
Yeah.
It wasn't about torque, but it was about horsepower. And the information, when you start talking about apples to apples, you know, if you're comparing anything that's built to a Honda GoldWing, then GoldWing's got 125. The new 6th generation or 5th generation one, the newer one, 18 to 25. That's what they have. They're not going to change because that's what they are from the factory, and you're not going to buy a stage 1, 2, 3 kit for a GoldWing. That's not. It doesn't work that way. They got the best freaking motor in the world. I'm driving one right now with 233,000 miles on it.
Original clutch.
233, 267 as we speak. Original clutch. So I mean, you know, it's still got a lot of. You know, I tested the compression in the cylinders one day. They're 201. They're 201 from the factory. And I had 200. I had 5 of them. I had 200. One had 195. Still compression. The bike's 23 years old and got 233,267 miles. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
And it's not been lightly ridden bike, I'll just tell you. It's not a straight line. It's not a Chris Caliente straight line. Never turns more than a quarter of an inch.
Get 20,000 miles out of a front tire.
How can you get 21,000 of a Battle Axe BT46 tire? And he did it, and I saw his video when he changed it, and I was blown away because I'm sitting here thinking, I do the Battle Axe. I can't remember if it was the 45 or the 46, but the 46 is the new one. The 45 was the old one. I'm thinking to myself, good gosh, man, how did you do that? When I get about 4,000 maximum before the sidewalls are eating off my tire, I don't have anything left except the middle.
Yeah.
But we tear that dadgum dragon up all the time over here in Maryville, and it's just wow. It blew me away.
Yeah.
But it is what it is. But, you know, apples to apples, guys, is what you need to be comparing.
It's just this bike. I'm more comfortable riding this bike than I was on the Harley.
Yeah.
Even when I rode the Dragon, I felt more at home on it. It ain't about, you know, dogging after Harley. I ain't got nothing bad to say about it. It
Right.
just it wasn't the right bike for me.
Sure. I talked to a guy at the ride, and he was driving a trike GoldWing 21. It was a 21 model. It was that red and black. It's a pretty bike. And he was telling me he had two fairly close neighbors to him that rode Harley trikes, and both of them told him to get the GoldWing trike. That's why he got it. That's what he told me today. He said, yeah. And I said, no, wait a minute. They just rode GoldWings or rode Harley? He said, no, they rode Harley trikes. Both of them said, you'll be happier with the GoldWing. And he said, he said, I was looking at the Harley trikes. Then I saw the price. That was a whole nother thing for me. It's over $50,000. And I'm thinking, well, it would be if the CVO's 45 without, you know, with just two wheels.
Yeah, and it's still straight axle.
Yeah, and so, but regardless, it is what it is, and everything's gotten so expensive. There's no question about that.
Absolutely.
But yeah, still, you got to compare apples to apples. I mean, you know, if I've got a Camaro and you've got a Camaro, or I've got a Mustang like my wife's GT, it's 300 horsepower from the factory. That's what it is. It's an 06. That's what they were in 06. Well, if you put a blower on it, guess what? Now you got 450 horsepower. Well, you're not going to compare that car to mine because it's not the same thing anymore.
Right.
Now, yeah, you can get them at torque horsepower. Yeah, you can. But I had to pay $4,500 for the blower and another $2,000 to get it installed.
Yeah, but then what you want to do with it? You want to get a toured
yeah.
bike and go out there and race it, or you want to get a touring bike, go out there and tour it, and have that reliability that you can go to California and come on back. You ain't got to worry about dropping something.
At all, yeah. And that's just one of the things. It's been debated and talked about for ever since motorcycles have been out. But you know, it is what it is. But I'll tell you, there's nothing more comfortable, in my opinion, than a GoldWing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just all-around performance, longevity. It just is what it is. But sure do like it. And I've always said it's kind of like a sport bike with bags on it anyway, with the torque you've got.
Yeah.
The ability to lean, and the angles you can get it at. Lord,
then you put you some exhaust on there, and then you sound like one.
Yeah, you're right. You're exactly right. All interesting stuff.
Well, I had a good time hanging out with the guys. It's always good to see those folks, man. They make you feel pretty good, especially when they watch your channel, they know your name and all that.
Absolutely. I saw you were having a good time, and I had a good time. Got to meet a couple people that had actually seen me on a couple of your videos. Got to talk with them, and you know, we like to do a little camping every once in a while on motorcycles. I'm not talking about spending the night on the road. I'm talking about
camping.
I'm talking about setting up on a campground somewhere and having a couple of days of camping and riding.
Yeah.
A whole lot of fun. So
we might have to put that together, Bees. I just have a national camp out day. Does everybody come on? If you can find a pretty good piece of land to do it on.
Yeah, we have to find something to be able to get that done on. But yeah, you talking about so far, I mean, it's kind of been a small thing, and we've done it twice now. Not this year, but we've done it before, kind of as a test. You kind of figure out what you need, what you don't need, how cold it's going to be, how cold it's not going to be, you know, what you need as far as sleeping stuff. But again, I'm an old tent camper from way back, and I'm kind of used to cooking and making pancakes and cooking breakfast and that kind of thing, having sandwiches and that kind of thing, hanging out by the ring of fire and just kind of chilling by the campfire and eating popcorn, that kind of thing. It's a lot of fun, and like-minded people around and talking about bikes and talking about all kinds of stuff is just really a great time we had last weekend doing that over in Murphy, North Carolina. It was really fun.
All right.
But
listen to this thing.
Good Good gracious alive, son.
What do you think about that?
Makes me want to go home and drill 2 more holes in the it makes me want to go home and drill 2 more holes in the back of my Valkyrie.
Yeah. That wasn't too loud, was it?
No, it wasn't too loud, but it was moving, boy. It took off.
Oh, way to go, man.
So when you jack it down, how far down does it gear down automatically?
I took it down to 3.
Well, how do you know that?
It's got an indicator on it.
Oh, okay. So when you just jammed it, it went to 3 automatically.
Right.
Oh, wow. All right, big dog. I'm going to ride on back to Big Jeff City.
All right, Beezy. Good to see you, big bro.
Enjoyed it, man, as always. I'll talk to you later.
Tenfold.
All right.
That was Charlie Beezy, you guys, putting that good information on us. I'm finna go in the garage and do a few things on this thing while I got a day off. Peace.
Hey, it's Slappy Adventures.
Slappy's Adventures.
Slappy Adventures.
Slappy's Adventures.
That's Slappy Adventures.
Slappy Adventures.
Slappy Adventures.
Slappy Adventures.
Slappy Adventures, baby.
It's Slappy Adventures.
Slappy Adventures.
Slappy Adventures.
Slappy Adventures. Slappy Adventures.
It's Slappy's Adventures. Slappy Adventures.
Is it?
Hit that like bell, baby. Share and subscribe. This is the dude. You want to be on his channel.
But all in all, the GoldWing is a good motorcycle. Ain't nothing wrong with a GoldWing. Ain't nothing wrong with it. As long as you ride it and you like what you like, that's all that matters. But don't say
That last part.